Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Cage. I am your host, Jim Graham. On the line, I have a special guest joining me. He is fresh off his victory at UFC on Fox 16 from Chicago. He is Mr. James Krause. And James, thanks for coming back on the show.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me back.
All right, first off, before we get to your victory here in Chicago, you had your last fight. Unfortunately, it didn't go your way. It was a tough fight, a very good fight. And, you kind of talked about changing up different strategies. When you look, what do you get, kind of looking back at that fight?
Nah, I think it's pretty simple. I didn't do enough. I thought I was winning every round, so I was kind of coasting. I had so much more to give. I wasn't even tired when the fight was over. So, I didn't put the pressure that I needed to, and I think I showed the adjustments that I needed to make. I think I showed that in my next fight against Cruickshank, obviously, but I just needed to apply more pressure, and I need to go out there. I need to get tired. I wasn't even tired at all after 15 minutes. So, I just didn't do enough. It was a rookie mistake on my part. And, I should have tried to finish constantly, and, I should have put more pressure, and I just didn't do it. Why? I thought I was winning the round, so I kind of coasted, and, like I said, big mistake on my part.
Now, on the same night that you fought Valmer Lazaro, that being your last fight, you got to, see Ronda Rousey against Ngannou. Of course, Rousey just fought again. Just your thoughts on Ronda Rousey and just how crazy good she is.
She's incredible. In women's MMA, there's obviously women's MMA, and then there's Ronda. She's incredible to fight. I want to see her. I want to quit talking about it. Is obviously the Cyborg fight. If she can't make 35, then let's quit talking about it. If she can, then let's set it up. That's really the only person left to fight, in my opinion, with her. Now,
let's get to your fight here, UFC Chicago, UFC on Fox 16. Obviously, we're catching after your fight, but how was your weight cut and that preparation as far as the fight goes?
Oh, weight cut was great. I have a guy named Tyler Minton. He runs a diet nutrition thing called the Melee Way, and man, it's great. I didn't have any issues at all. It's always a tough cut for me. I'm a big lightweight, but he makes it about as easy as it's going to get for me. So I didn't have any issues at all. It was one of my better cuts I've ever had.
Now, we'll talk to him here in a little bit, but of course you had your teammate there, Zach Cummings, fight on this card as well. Do you feel that kind of having like a fight at the same time as Zach? Do you think that kind of really helped you having kind of gearing someone else up for a fight around the same time?
I don't know. That was kind of the idea behind it. Whenever we did it, we asked to be on the same card together, so it was really cool, training together and, being next to each other every day and seeing, I guess, just kind of having that energy together and, knowing we're heading in the same direction. We have the same goal. So it's a lot easier to get up in the morning whenever you have somebody next to you doing the exact same thing. So yeah, it helped out a lot.
Now, of course, his fight, he was able to win pretty quickly there against Dominique Steele. Is that kind of what you were expecting from Zach, to go out there and get a finish like that?
Yeah, whenever they set the fight with Brago, we thought it was a good matchup for Zach, and then they switched it a couple weeks out to Steele, and I just, there's no disrespect to him, but I think it's just different levels of the sport. Zach's a veteran. He's fought the best in the world. He's fought Tim Kennedy. He's fought some very, very tough opponents. So, he did exactly what we expected him to do, and it was tough for me. I watch him fight, and I'm like, oh man, that's going to be hard to follow. You know what I mean? So, especially, against somebody like Cruickshank, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but he looked great. And it definitely gave me the energy to go into my fight for sure.
Now, looking at your fight against Darren, he came out pretty aggressive as he usually does, not more with his punches than I've seen him in the past, really started to kind of come after you there. And then there was that scramble. You were able to go and get the back and get the choke. And I guess in the scramble there, where you just saw that he left his neck open there, because it seemed a quick transition from when you guys were standing to all of a sudden you get the tap there at 127.
That's probably my best attribute is scrambling. So it's not uncommon for me to hit stuff like that on a daily basis. So like I said, it's just, that's my best attribute. And, you know, Darren was throwing a lot of punches because I was pressuring. You know, I didn't give him the range to kick. And, you know, I think I only got hit once or twice in the whole fight. You know, I was just trying to get in his face and apply that pressure, because if you let him push you backwards, he's a dangerous guy. So the game plan was to go forward and really apply a lot of pressure and make him box rather than throwing all his flashy kicks and stuff like that. So that was the whole game plan. It worked out very well for us. And, you know, I walked out really, I didn't get hit much at all. I think I maybe got hit once or twice, like I said. So, yeah, I felt good. Everything kind of came together right as planned.
Now, of course, you got the submission victory. This is now the third time Darren has been submitted in the UFC. So if it did go to the ground, and obviously the way you finished, did you feel pretty confident, you know, you might be able to get a submission like you did?
Yes, we felt like that there would be a big advantage on the ground for our team. You know, the striking, Darren's always good. He's always going to be tough to deal with because of his range, his movement, obviously his good kicks. So we figured that would be a you know, a pretty even matchup, but we felt like we had a huge advantage on the ground against him.
Now, I read an article on the UFC website that you kind of felt like your back was against the wall in this fight, you know, having 2 consecutive losses coming in, and you kind of now feel, not only did you get a win, you got the finish, do you kind of feel like a breath of fresh air, like, oh, you know, now I don't have to worry about, you know, where my next fight's going to be?
Man, you know, I really don't put much concern into that. I don't put a ton of concern in the wins and losses. I need to go out and I need to perform. And, you know, I knew that if I would have lost, I would have got cut, but that doesn't affect my performance at all. You know, I just go out and I look to finish at all times. And, you know, I think maybe that's just because I've had a lot of fights, but like I said, I don't really let how many fights I've lost or won in a row. You know, even if I would have been on a 2-fight winning streak, I don't think it would have changed my mentality going into it. You know, to me, it's all about performance. You know, am I performing or am I not performing? You know, if I'm not performing, I need to make the adjustments necessary to perform, whether I'm winning or losing. So, to me, it was just I needed to go out and I needed to fix my holes that I had in the fight before of not pressuring when I needed to, you know, coasting. I just needed to alleviate that, and I think I did a good job of that in the little time I had to do so.
Looking at kind of what else happened on this card, you had the performance there by Miesha Tate. You had the big knockout there of Takanori Gomi by Joe Lazone. You also had the tremendous performance by T.J. Dillashaw, in the main event for the title. What other fight, that you got to see there in Chicago were you, kind of really impressed by?
I think the easy answer is my teammate Zach Cummings. I think he looked incredible, and that was the only fight that I really cared about. Obviously there were some other good performances, but, I think as far as like impressing, Zach coming off of a long layoff for a little over a year and then coming out in that dominating fashion, I think that's a statement. So I was really happy and proud of him for doing so.
Now, like you said in this fight, James, you didn't take a lot of damage. Are you looking to get in there fairly quickly then, or is it going to be a while before we see you?
I'd like to fight one more time before year end, probably before Thanksgiving sometime, so I can spend the holidays with my family. But, I would like to fight again before the end of the year.
Jim Graham talking with James Krause here on Beyond the Cage, fresh off his victory at UFC on Fox 16 against Darren Cruickshank. And looking forward to your next fight, do you have anyone that you've been thinking about facing, or just kind of see what the UFC throws at you?
No, I lost 2 fights in a row, and I just beat Cruickshank, so I don't think I'm in a position to be calling people out. I'm gonna wait and see who they offer me, and then go from there. Like I said, I need to string together some consistency before I worry about calling people out.
One issue I would want to talk with you, it just happened this past weekend with the World Series of Fighting and Husamar Polares and Jake Shields and the whole, holding on to the submission too long, and obviously, Jake Shields retaliates with the punch after the bell. I was just kind of wondering what you thought, as a fellow fighter about kind of that whole situation there between Polares and Jake Shields.
I mean, to me, it's pretty basic. Whenever the referee touches you, you let go. You know what I mean? For sure, for me, whenever I get the tap, obviously I look to the referee and make sure he's aware that the tap has happened, and then I let go. But to hold on, and it's not just one time. This is multiple times he's done this. 5 or 6, I think, maybe more, and that's not counting jiu-jitsu competition. He does it in jiu-jitsu competition too. It's just dirty. You know what I mean? Like whenever somebody touches, the referee touches you, you let go. Now, that being said, I legitimately think the dude has a mental problem. You know, I don't think he even knows what he's doing, but I think he has some serious mental issues. And, you know, but that's really nobody's problem but his own. So, I mean, if you can't play by the rules, man, you need to get the hell out of the sport. And it's just plain and simple. You know, if you can't, what he's doing is not just dirty. You're ending careers. You know, I don't think Mike Pierce has fought since that. You know what I mean? So you're ending careers and you're shaving people's chance, you know, time off people's chance of stardom and making a good living for themselves. You know, so I think it's dirty and I think something needs to definitely happen to him. I know he got cut from the UFC last time because of that. I don't know if, you know, I've heard the talk of like a lifetime ban. I don't really know what it looks like, but man, if you can't play by the rules, get the hell out.
Most definitely. I think there's a chance he, at least within, you know, the United States and probably Canada, he could see a ban. I'm sure he could probably still find some fights maybe in his home country, Brazil. But, yeah, it definitely doesn't look good for him. And for Jake Shields, obviously, you know, you can't really condone the punch after. But at least in his case, maybe looking at it with the only other exception I've seen is Paul Daly and Josh Koscheck, at least you can go, all right, he somewhat kind of had a reason for doing what he did.
Yeah, we're talking about a different scenario, though. You're talking about a guy that's trying to injure you. You know, Daly did it based off pure emotion. You know what I mean? He was mad because Koscheck was talking to him. And there was a lot of build up to that fight. But we're talking about a guy, you know, I don't blame Shields for one bit, man. You know, if I chat, that signifies to you and that signifies to the referee, like, look, I'm done. You got me. It's over. You know, and then if you go to try to further injure me, you know, that's a problem. I'm going to be pissed off too. And, you know, I don't know exactly what I would do. I can't say until I've been in that situation. But man, you know, I guess when you originally asked me, you asked me in the sense of, you know, did Shields do anything wrong? And I, in my opinion, I don't think he did anything wrong. You know, I think what he did was, you know, is it right? Absolutely not. It's not right. But man, if you got a guy trying to injure you after you've already said, look, I'm done, man, that deserves getting socked outside the mouth. You know what I mean? In my opinion, you know, it's not right, man. You know, like I said, if you can't play by the rules, get the hell out.
Now, this fight here at UFC on Fox 16, the first time you got to wear the new Reebok fight kit and all the Reebok gear and whatnot, and now that you've actually seen what the gear looks like, you got to wear it and try it out and do it for the fight week. What do you actually think about, you know, Reebok with the UFC?
Well, the gear is actually pretty good quality. I don't mind that. I'm not a big fan of like the cornerman jumpsuits. It's all good quality stuff, but I don't really think they put much of like a fashion sense into this. It's like, hey, wear this. You know, I don't know. They're like super baggy. And nothing's like the jumpsuits aren't fitted or anything like that. You know, it's just little stuff, but it's all great quality stuff. It's not bad. I really like the shorts that I saw in. They're like the low cut, you know, tie style board shorts. So I really like them, but as far as the jumpsuits from a fashion standpoint, I'm not big on them.
Do you hopefully that is something you think they'll correct here in the coming months and years with obviously it's a 7-year deal?
I'm sure, you know, we're just a couple months into the very beginning phase of it, so I'm sure they'll make adjustments along the way, so it's nothing I'm concerned with.
All right, I'll get you out of here with this. Obviously, you got the fight, so you'll enjoy the rest of the summer probably before you get into your next training camp. But you got any big plans for the rest of the summer here, James?
No, just training, getting better, and spend time with my family.
All right, he is James Krause. You can follow him on Twitter at @TheJamesKrause. And once again, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it and look forward to your next fight.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Once again, that was James Krause right here on Beyond the Cage.